warming up behind me. This is supposed to be my day off, but here I am at Forge Memory, Axle Main Forge Memory here in St. Elmo, Illinois on Main Street. And got some people stopping in to pick up some stuff, so I figured I'm going to try something. Now, let me grab a couple pieces and explain to you what I'm attempting. Sometime back, I took almost all the file steel that I had in the shop here that we weren't using, and I decided to cut it into sections. I took those sections, and in 2 to 3 heats, using my power hammer, I forged them out into knife blade blanks. Now, there's no taper, there's no bevels, and now what I'm going to do, I'm going to take a bunch of these at one time, put them in that forge, and I am using an Atlas single burner forge. It runs hot, it runs efficient, I like it, we use it all the time. And I'm going to try putting a bunch of these in, and the first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to go through and I'm going to smooth out my profile. As you can see, this is irregular, it's rough, just from the hammer marks and everything. I'm going to smooth out that profile so I have a nice preform before I go under the power hammer. So, we're going to see how this goes. My plan is, I'm going to take 10 or 12 of these at one time. Put them in the forge. I'm going to get them up to temp. I'm going to smooth them out. I'm going to set them aside. And then I'm going to start, let's say, I'm going to try 3 or 4 at a time, blanking them, forging the bevels and all, getting everything straightened out, and go from there. I'm going to try to do my normalizing in bulk as well. So what I'm going to do, instead of having one in there, let it come up to temp, bring it out. And I know some people are going to be like, you need to be using a heat treat oven. Well, I'm assuming that not everybody has a heat treat oven. So how can I help you by showing you how to do something with the equipment you have? That's what we're looking at here. So we'll take 10 or 12 of these file steel blanks and get those into the forge. And one thing that's going to happen real quick is you're going to see the temp drop on that forge. All right. So right here, I've got 12 of these. This is a lot of cold mass that's going to be introduced into that forge. Let me get my glasses on because it's one of those situations, can't see with them, can't see without them. But I do want a little bit of eye protection. Which I probably should be using safety glasses, but I can see with these just a little bit better. So here we go. Wow. And you can see the glow on that forge just went from that bright orange down to a dull red. We pulled a lot of heat out of that forge by introducing cold material. Now, a lot of people don't think about that when you're forging about, oh, it's just hot as hot. We're getting radiant heat from the refractory. We're getting heat from the flame itself. But what we're really looking at is we're looking at a major displacement in that temperature, or just due to what I've introduced. Now I've still got, I think I've got 12 blades up here, or blanks rather. And the reason I'm doing all of these at one time, or I'm trying to do as many as I can, I'm wanting to get through this project. I just made a whole bunch of tomahawk heads out of out of hammerheads. Forged a whole bunch of axe heads out of hammerheads. And I think it's a great thing to do, but at the same time, it's time consuming. Once I get these to a point where I can assemble them, that's when I start making money. So if I take my 100 plus blanks, yeah, get a little bit of heat in there, there we go. My 100 plus blanks that I've been working on, and I process those to where they're ground, they're heat treated, I can assemble them now, I can start making money. In the meantime, I don't make any money on that because of, there's probably not too many of you that you want to buy that. It doesn't cut too well. No flex, you know. So I'm trying to figure out what the most efficient way, the most efficient process is to do this. Now, I'm guessing I've probably got 4 dozen apiece to do. Because I got 12 in the forge, 12 on the anvil, 12 on top of the forge. I was wrong. It's 49. All right. So that gives me an idea about what I got to work through and how long that might take. Now I'm not going to keep you guys here the whole time. Be like, hey, this is going to be just kind of boring. If you got any questions, feel free to ask. Also, you can check me out on Forged in Fire Season 4, Episode 2, Deerhorn Knives. You can see me on Master of Arms Season 1, Episode 1, Flintlock Axe Pistol. And now that we're coming up to temperature, and I think this is working, I think this is going to work, I'm going to go through and I'm going to start profiling these flanks. As I remove material here and I set it to the side, one thing that is going to happen is the rest of that material is going to come up in temperature and there's not going to be as much stock in there to heat. So I'm hoping that this is an effective means to save some time. So I'm coming up to temp. If I was only doing 2 or 3 blades, I would already be at temperature. We're going to come in here, just work down that profile, forge that tip down until I've got a nice smooth piece like that, kind of talon shaped. Almost got another one up to temp. More steel is coming up to temperature. The idea for a process like this is to economize on your time. Economize on my time specifically. I'll get that tip a little bit hotter. Now, I've got hot spots and I've got cold spots in the forge now just because it's one burner, and 2, because that's a lot of mass in a small forge like that, but it can be done. Nice and smooth, talon shape right there. Okay. There's 2 of them. We're getting ready to have 3 and 4. This will work, I guarantee. Now, how well it will work, I don't know. If everything was up to temp, I could run through this real fast. But what I'm doing, because I've reduced the temperature inside that forge, I'm fighting it. But as that's coming up, I'm removing material, and it should start heating the interior of that forge a lot better. Now, if you guys would, I ask you, please like and subscribe. I appreciate all the subscriptions, all the likes, and if you got questions, comments, let me know. Alright, so here we go. Working down the length of the blade. Blank. talon shape right there. Doing a talon preform. The reason I'm doing this is because I want to forge that bevel and it's going to cause that tip to rise. And if I even all that out, I get a more consistent result. All right, temperature's coming up. We are moving. Trying to see how I can. Yeah, let's try this. See if that position works a little bit better. There's 5. Guys, we are almost halfway there. Now, if you use that common core math, I could be completely wrong about that, but I'm just going to say common core is wrong. So we're at 11 minutes, maybe a little bit past. And so far, things are going well. What I would usually do is I would take this process and I would only do a couple at a time. And I'm hoping by doing it this way, it's going to be kind of a neat piece. I'm hoping that by doing it this way, that I save some time and I move just a little bit faster. But this is applicable to a bulk process. And what that means is the time I save is going to have to add up for it to be really evident. In the time that we've been streaming this video live, I could have probably done 2 blades. That's him. Probably could have done 2 blades. All right, we are coming down on time. Going back now, they're going back into the forge because once they're profiled, then I'm going to start forging those bevels, and then I'll do any of the final adjustments as needed. So I'm showing 15 minutes. Took about 15 minutes, so just a little over a minute per blade. Well, thank you, Doogie. Play meatloaf cup. Interesting. Okay. Got a 75-pound head on this power hammer, and I'm going to be moving reasonably quick. Let me see if I can get the anvil in the shot too. Close enough. All right. There we go. Now you see we got a lump here that'll get ground off. We're going back to the anvil here. Red hot is from friction, not fire. No, it's pretty much from fire. So I'm going to come in here next. A little bit of adjustment. All right, there's one blank. Another. My first one, I'm going to bring it out, put it in the vise. what I'm doing on these right now, I'm going to go through and I'm going to heat and cool 3 times. So we're going to do great refinement here. Thank you, Domingo. So the idea is if I do 3 or 4 of these at a time, and I think 3 is going to be the magic number, I should be able to move along rather quickly and still turn out a quality piece. Remember where I'm at. So that is second cycle on the first one. Cycle on the second one. I think I'm making progress here. I am confident with this process. Once more, be sure to like and subscribe. Second cycles on all 3 blades have been cycled. And now, low temp, 3rd cycle. Okay, so at 23 minutes, I've got 3 done. Now I call that reasonable. I am making some progress on this. A little bit of warpage right here, low temp. I do have some color to this, don't worry. All right, back at that low red. different setup so that I can allow these to cool, and I don't have that right now. I'm gonna have to build something. So far, doing good. That's the first 3 blades, doing 12 total. How long is it gonna take to get a dozen of these done? Well, at this point, I'm gonna allow them to cool the rest of the way, then it's gonna be grinding and heat treating. So it's an assembly line process, but it's not as monotonous. Keep in mind, we've already went through and figured out there we go, right about there. Already went through and forged those down a little bit to get that tip so that it's just a little more even and a little less to remove later. Have you done 20 to 30 in blades? Well, Ray's outdoors. Okay, Ray, what I'm doing is I'm taking some file steel blanks and I'm forging these into blades. So we're putting in the bevel, we're putting in the taper, and most of the cleanup, these are forged for effect. So it's just bolt forging on knife blades. How you can do this in your home shop. Eric, thank you. My shop is, I want to say it's reasonable for a blacksmith or a knife maker shop. So. And have I done 20 to 30 inch blades? Absolutely. Here's one right here. All right, Power Hammer is going live. Here we go. Do a little more forging of that. Go. All right. Do I sell my work? Yes, I do. If you can find me on Facebook, or you can find me on Instagram, Dustin Rhodes Forge Works. You can look me up on Facebook. You can find me as well. I think I've got 3 pages. There's Axon Main Forge Memory. It's going to be the easiest one to find. You can find my personal page, which is Dustin Rhodes, or you can find Dustin Rhodes Forge Works Forge Memory. And yes, I do sell my work. This is what I do for a living. Every so often I work in television. I go on Forged in Fire, Master of Arms, different shows like that, and I produce educational content as well. I had to look and see if I wanted it to drop like that. Yes, I do. What's going to be my other holder? I got to have some kind of blade holder here. A little bit of warpage. Did I learn blacksmithing? About 30 years ago, 31 years ago I did. I started into blacksmithing when I was 10 or 12. And I got into knife making more so. I like blades better. It's just what I do. We're coming up on 35 minutes. I'm going to have these blades done in probably about 37, 38 minutes total. A little bit of warp. Moving right along once more, please like and subscribe. I'm going to bend in that tang. Tang is soft, it's okay. Second cycle, second cycle, second cycle. We've got one more. We're going to do it at a low temp. And then I'm going to put the next 3 blades in. We are just coming up on 37 minutes now. Once more, please like and subscribe. Kind of pushing myself here to see how many file steel blades I can get. How long is it going to take me to get a dozen of these done? next 3 are in. And we are at just under 39 minutes since we started this. All right, feeling pretty good about the process here. Let me see. I learned blacksmith, welder, and blacksmith. It was forbidden for us to light down the thumb on the hammer. It should always allow to do it. Everybody's got a different technique. Depending upon how I want that force to transfer. If I'm working with the heavier stock, I don't want to do this. I actually will put the thumb to the back if I'm doing light taps, if I'm moving lighter stock, because my transfer is not as it's not as intense as if I do just a hammer grip here and I'm really swinging. Keep in mind that these are profiles, so they're relatively thin. So one thing that I've found, we also own an axe throwing venue. There's targets right through there. When you throw an axe, because thumb position is very important, yes. When you throw an axe, if you put your thumb on the back, you slow your rotation, you extend that rotation. So at 12 feet, you're not going to most likely hit with the blade portion of an axe. And the same thing for a hammer, is that there's not as much rotation, and I'm hitting more with that flat and less with the toe or heel of the hammer face. So very, very good observation. And what we're going to do, I'm going to go ahead and move us over here, because next we are going back to the power hammer. Let's zoom in on this just a little bit. So far I'm halfway through. That's 6 blades ready to be ground and heat treated in less than 40 minutes. I'm going to call that okay, considering those knives will have a price point of $100 to $150 a piece. Not a lot, but not bad. A little better than the average minimum wage. Make a little bit of an adjustment to that tang. Back to the anvil. Yeah, absolutely. Okay, yes, let me tell you about the power hammer. If any of you watch Forged in Fire, you might know Robbie Bowman. Robbie Bowman's a friend of mine. He started Forged Memory in Pigeon Forge, Tennessee. We're glad to be and proud to be a member of the Forged Memory family. Now, Robbie got this power hammer, I believe, from Raymond Head. Does a lot of power hammer builds. So it is shop made. I didn't make it myself, but I used a 1919 Little Giant, which I recently sold, and this thing right here, it will move some steel. All right, and speaking of moving some steel, we're going to do that now. We're going to even everything out. Of this will be stock removal afterwards. With results so far. Let that heat just a little bit longer. Right now, in just under 48 minutes, I'm on 9 knives. Now keep in mind, yeah, I am using a power hammer. I'm using some preforms. This is moving along quite well and efficiently. First cycle on the first 3 blades. Let's see. Okay, so the forge is propane. Yes, it is. This is an Atlas forge. I really enjoy using my Atlas forge. And I used coal for about 20 years. In about 2015, I got hurt and it hurt my back. That's the reason my anvil is as high as it is. A lot of people want their anvil, knuckle high. I've got to have mine higher, otherwise my back goes. So, so it's a little different setup than what some people would have. We still use coal when we go to Turtle Island to teach there. I've still got a coal forge that I actually need to work on. Coming around to that second cycle, really happy with that. There'll be a low temp after that, and then the final 3 for this batch of 12. Will I be able to do it in under an hour? No. But I'm going to try. I'm going to see where it's going to be close. It's going to be close. Wanted to warp just a little bit, push her back in place. Making a lot of progress, moving right along. Once more, please like and subscribe. There we go. Time to put the last 3 in. Last 3 are in. We're coming up to temperature, and we've done at this point 9 knives at 53 minutes. Now there's a lot more finishing to be done, but I've been doing this long enough. I'm pretty efficient with my time. Okay, how do I feel about the craftsmanship shown on Forged in Fire? when I was on Forged in Fire, season 4, episode 2, I had a pretty good time with it. It's a reality show, so keep in mind that you're not going to turn out your best work in 3 hours by any means. But that's also how I got to turning out more pieces and in higher quantities, but still maintaining a high level of quality. Now, some of my stuff is frontier style, so it's been maybe hammer marked. Others satin finish. Some of it's polished. Not too many pieces I do are mirror polished, just because of the fact of oxidation and fingerprints and rust. Got me doing more Damascus and pushing myself harder and further. Given the time limit, some of the results are stunning, if you ask me. Yes, absolutely. My episode was the first episode where we didn't get an extra hour for forge welding. Mine was golf. Turn this around. That's what I looked like when I was on Forged in Fire. And that's when I was on Master of Arms. And that's when Dan was on Forged in Fire. That's when we were down at, we were teaching down at Turtle Island for the first time. You can see Josh Nicolaitis right there in the blue shirt. He won season 6, episode 3. So, a lot of people will ask questions about Forged in Fire, which some I can answer. Some I would... I'm still signed to some NDAs, so I can only talk about certain things. But, no, I mean, like, the challenge is real. But with reality TV is what it is. So, some of it might be enhanced, I guess. How's it going? This is an Atlas forge, single burner. Check out Atlas, Atlas knife and tool. I keep hoping if I tell everybody about them, they'll send me 1 or 2 extras. David Nelson, I appreciate that. The one thing that I was told when I was on Forged in Fire after my elimination, I didn't win, but I met with the judges and talked to them, and I was shaking Jason Knight's hand, and I was like, I just lost, so I wasn't real thrilled, but so I'm not like an ABS Mastersmith or anything here. And Jason Knight said something that made a lot of sense to me and stuck with me, and it reminded me of when I was in martial arts and a martial arts instructor. And Jason Knight, he shook my hand. He said, "I'm a student," and I was like, "Always be learning is a positive thing." So that stuck with me. All right, guys, we are getting ready. Those blade blanks are up to temp. Let's go back to the power hammer. Go back to the power hammer here. And let's get this hammered out. back to the anvil. No, don't do earplugs. I've actually got hearing loss in the left ear, and this is my store, so if someone talks to me, I got to be able to hear. All right, here we go. Moving right along here, people. I'm really happy with the results, and I'll tell you what, I think I found some techniques that I'm going to be able to use on a regular basis here in my shop, and I hope that you guys can use those processes too, and then it'll help you guys out. slide you a little closer so I can read the comments. Yes, absolutely. Personal protective equipment, PPE. Having proper equipment to protect yourself, your ears, your eyes, your body from burns, things like that is very important. Most cases, I will have more coverage on, but I've also got to be able to move fast. If I have someone else working in the forge, they have to have it. That's just what I require, because if I get hurt, that's one thing. If somebody else gets hurt, that's affecting more than just myself. I want to throw that on the ground. All right. Once more, if you haven't already, please like and subscribe. We're getting ready to wrap this up. Things are going well. And I'm really happy how it's turning out. Well, I want to say it worked. At least it seems to have worked at this point. Be sure to like and subscribe. We've got more videos coming. Be sure to watch Forged in Fire. There's questions about whether they're continuing the show or not. But now I'm on, because I was on Forged in Fire, I'm on Disney Plus, Hulu, Vudu, Fandango. I guess Vudu was Fandango. Netflix. Season 4, Episode 2. You can see Cheyenne, who's not here at the moment, on Season 9, Episode 5, Blades Gone Wild. Or check out Josh Nicolaitis, who was the second from my shop to go on Forged in Fire. He was on Season 6, Episode 3, Washington's College Mart. We're going to be back with more content. And right now, I've drank enough water. I got to hit the restroom. I will catch you guys in a few. We'll catch you a bit later.